Kansas and Missouri, while Roaring River State Park braces for potential flooding. Campers urged to stay alert. KOAM News at 10. Next. Now at 10, repairs are underway in southeast Kansas after Wednesday morning storms left a trail of damage, including downed trees and power lines. Plus, some of those downed trees landed on vehicles. We talked to local experts for insurance advice. And lawmakers assure safety improvements despite traffic as Forward 44 kicks off in Springfield.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
While the threat of tornadoes is quiet for now, communities in our area ran into a different threat today. That's flooding. Flash flood warnings were in effect for areas in southwest Missouri and southeast Kansas after some areas experienced as much as 5 inches of rain. As you can see from this video from Greene County, Missouri, that amount of rain can quickly turn into a treacherous threat. Does the threat of flooding continue into the weekend? This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Anthony Saviello. Let's go straight to our meteorologist, Lindsay Gaffney, for an answer to that question.
Well, we've already seen quite a bit of rainfall. You can see out in the Monette area, we have a flood warning, a flash flood warning, and a flood watch all through south of I-44. They've already gotten about 5 inches of rain. Now, north of I-44 on the Missouri side, closer to 2 to 3 inches of rain. But out in Kansas and northern parts in Kansas, definitely have seen a little bit less than an inch of rain. But as we head into the rest of the weekend, we've got another round of really heavy rainfall through the morning hours on Saturday. Could lead us to another ½ an inch to an inch of rain along and north of I-44, and then south of I-44, another inch to inch and a half of rain. Now, we still have that flood watch in effect until 7 p.m. on Saturday, south of I-44, and then that lighter green is going to be that flash flood warning for Monette and down to Bentonville. We still have a little bit of rain kind of creeping in through the southern and eastern parts of our area, but for the rest of the night, we're going to be mostly calm. However, more rain moves in early in the morning. I'm going to have those details coming up.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. As creeks and rivers rise, state parks in southwest Missouri are warning fishermen and campers to be ready to quickly move out. Reagan DeTrolio has this report from Roaring River State Park near Cassville, which is definitely roaring right now.
We planned a weekend of fishing, and it just so happened that Mother Nature doesn't always cooperate.
Tom Clayton and his 2 brothers are longtime Boy Scouts who still love camping, so they're prepared for the rain. They hope others are ready too.
Make sure your tent's in a nice dry spot that's draining, because there's puddles of water there, and they're going to get deeper and bigger. Make sure there's maybe a tree that might fall down or limbs that might be unstable above you.
Mike Boozy Cruz with Roaring River State Park says after the huge flood here in 2021, the park has become more weather equipped.
We've also got a good partnership with Berry County Emergency Management, which I've already been on the phone with both of them this morning. We're all watching the weather. We went under a flash flood warning this morning until 5 p.m. So when we see things like that happen, we try to get ahead of it. We'll get out, contacted all the campers. We've already contacted all of our campers this morning.
Last month, the park installed this storm siren. It's also had this rain gauge for many years.
This is one of the tools we use to monitor how much flow is going through the stream.
He says if the flooding gets unmanageable, park rangers will let campers know it's time to evacuate.
When we say, be ready to move, they need to take that seriously. And it's one of the things we try to stress to our campers is that, when the park does go under a flash flood warning, it does mean something serious, and we're definitely keeping our eye on it.
And for avid campers like Clayton, he's ready to move out if he has to and hopes other campers will do the same to keep everyone safe.
If they sound the siren, I think you're just going to have to get as much as you can. You really need to leave when they say it could only be a matter of minutes, maybe before the water starts coming down the river.
If the flooding gets so bad the park closes, rangers can use the siren as an intercom to let campers know where to evacuate to. Emergency management officials released damage totals following Wednesday's EF1 tornado that touched down in Crawford County, Kansas, and tore through communities in Vernon County, Missouri. Southeast Kansas had reports of downed trees and power lines. The Crawford County emergency manager says they received reports from some residents along 47 highway in the Girard area with damage to their homes. Parsons says they've had reports of trees down throughout the Girard area. In total, there were 7 reports of homes damaged, mostly shingle damage, with one home on 47 highway that had its chimney fall into the home.
Then we received reports from some residents out on 47 Highway that might have received some damage to their homes. So Sheriff Tomasi actually went out there and started checking on residents.
Parsons says there were reports of a minor injury after the chimney fell into the home and hit the leg of a man sitting below. He did receive stitches. Authorities in Vernon County have some good news to report following the devastation of Wednesday's tornado. Utility companies in the area have succeeded in restoring power to the county, though they say some off and on issues will continue for the time being. The restoration comes as the county continues to repair and rebuild. Today, authorities released official damage numbers. Totals for the county show the storm destroyed 55 buildings. 7 of those were in the city of Nevada alone. Since we had our fair share of severe weather in the 4 states, a lot of tree limbs and other debris get scattered across lawns. But if that tree falls on your home or vehicle, which insurance company fits the bill? KOAM's Lonnie Walton spoke with local experts for advice.
Had several of those happen. Most of them are live trees.
Richard Lippett is the owner of Lippett Insurance in Grove, Oklahoma. With over 39 years of experience in the insurance industry, he says he deals with falling tree claims like the back of his hand.
Neighbor across the fence, tree blows over, lands on his roof and damages the fence, and he wants to know if the neighbor should fix it. He thinks the neighbor should fix it.
And there may be others who may think that as well, but according to Lippett, if it falls on your property, you're out of luck.
It could be a tree half a mile away from a tornado that fell on your house. If you want your house or your car covered, you need to have insurance on your own house and your own car.
And since 2 insurance companies are usually involved in these incidents, we got a second opinion. Andy Queen from Farmers Insurance in Joplin says,
it falls over and it's due from storm, wind, or something like that, a tornado, lightning, something like that. It's on your own insurance.
And although it is your responsibility most of the time if a tree falls on your property, our expert says there are some times when it's not.
It is dead and you've noticed it and you've told the neighbor or whatever.
There's possibly some negligence on your neighbor's side, and he could be responsible for that tree falling on your property.
If it makes it any more easier for you, our experts say the insurance companies will deal with it anyway. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Queen and Lippett say you can't find out where trees or debris truly come from all the time, which is probably why your insurance is reliable for your own belongings. Well, the Dow drops over 2,200 points as Wall Street tumbles after trade war escalation. That story coming up. And staff at one Missouri diner face their own challenges as tariffs impact their local community.
No credit, don't sweat it.
President Trump's sweeping tariffs took a major toll on Wall Street with another day of steep losses for the major stock indexes. The growing trade war is raising concerns about inflation and the possibility of a recession. Erica Brown reports from the White House.
Wall Street closed with another day of intense losses, sparked by President Trump's sweeping new tariffs on imports and retaliation from trade partners. Stocks suffered their worst 2-day drop in 5 years. The Dow Industrial Average plunged more than 2,200 points. The Nasdaq and S&P 500 tumbling again. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell warned of the potential consequences of the new tariffs, but says it will take time for the Fed to fully assess the impact.
Looking ahead, higher tariffs will be working their way through our economy and are likely to raise inflation in coming quarters.
Earlier Friday, the president took to social media to pressure the Fed chair, saying, quote, "This will be the perfect time for Fed Chairman Jerome Powell to cut interest rates." For now, businesses big and small are weighing their options.
We're working with our channel partners and trying to also just look internally for more efficiencies so we don't have to change our prices and distribution.
In the escalating trade war, China announced a 34% retaliatory tariff on all U.S. goods, matching President Trump's reciprocal tax on Beijing. But the White House insists the tariffs will boost American manufacturing. On social media, President Trump responded to China's retaliation, saying, quote, "China played it wrong. They panicked. The one thing they cannot afford to do." Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
Despite the stock market's sharp losses, President Trump predicts the new import tariffs will bring trillions of dollars of investments in the U.S., spurring job growth and an economic boom. People working at one diner in Missouri react to how those tariffs could change things at the nearby Ford factory, which would then impact their business. Nadija Hood has the details.
Well, it's scary. I mean, you know, that is sort of our lifeline, and I want it to stay.
Nellie Bell's Diner has sat in the heart of Clay Como since 1965. It's just less than 2 miles up the road from the Ford assembly plant, which has fueled their business for decades.
You said Coke. If they're down or laid off, they can't come in and eat. If they're not getting overtime, we're not getting the younger group that is depending on that overtime and excited to get it.
What are you going to have to drink? The diner serves staff from the plant as a meeting place for people in the community to gather and enjoy a hot meal.
What are you going to get?
As tariffs have driven up costs of food, they are finding business has slowed down.
I just have such a loyal following of the older people, you know, in the village. And some of them are just coming in now 2 or 3 times a week and maybe just getting a cup of coffee or biscuits and gravy, just because of the price.
I'll do the ham and beans. They say nervous chatter about the future could be heard all throughout the diner.
My people are the older clientele, you know, and they went through, you know, the end of the Depression and everything, so they don't want anything bad to happen again.
The pressure of rising costs also being felt among staff.
We might shuffle around to 2 or 3 different stores to get eggs cheaper than what we're having to pay from our food vendor. And so product is scarce. Our freezers are not overflowing.
With limited staffing and uncertainty about the economy, diner ownership says they've considered closing down. Instead, they're clinging on to hope.
Just that it will get better, you know, and I think it will. I think it's just going to take a little while.
The Wall Street Journal reports that over the past 24 hours, Klarna, StubHub, and Chime paused plans for initial public offerings on U.S. exchanges this year. All 3 companies filed for IPOs with the Securities and Exchange Commission last month. The decision follows this week's large stock market sell-off following President Trump's new tariffs. A little later, that big top on South Madison Street in Webb City can only mean one thing: the circus is back. Details coming up.
And we have heavier rain continuing into the weekend. I'm going to have those details right after this. All through the week, we've had severe weather, we've had heavy rainfall, and it's not quite over yet. Let's go ahead and take a look outside. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Now, we do have mostly cloudy skies tonight, but calm moment in between our rain showers. Now, you can see we've had quite a bit of hail reports up the eastern side of our area from some of these storms that have gone by. Now they're shifting off to the east. We're looking pretty good for at least the next couple of hours. We might have a few pop-up showers, but really everything's holding off until early Saturday morning. Now, what we're expecting is to have a nice heavy rain shower, maybe even some thunder showers, but nothing too severe, around 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and continuing until about early afternoon, so about 2 p.m. Now, we're still going to have some light showers kind of sticking around through the afternoon, but really that heavy rainfall is going to be isolated to the morning. We're also starting off, temperatures dropping down to about 44 degrees tonight, sticking around in the mid-40s. We're getting up to about 46, 47 for the high. Now, let's walk through the rest of the evening. We've got those overcast skies. Showers start to creep in. This is now 7 a.m. A few of us out in the Kansas area and south of I-44 are already going to see some of these light showers, and then heavier rain starts to push in. Now again, mostly south of I-44, and we've already seen that we have that flood watch south of I-44 and a flash flood warning, meaning it is already happening out there, Monette all the way down to Bella Vista. So any more rain that we see is going to be detrimental to the area out there. So that's going to be a concern, especially on the roads. Now, this is about 9 a.m. Heavy rain starting to creep into Oklahoma, Arkansas, south of I-44, Missouri. Continues to push up and out to the northeast. We have a bit of a lull there mid-afternoon to early overnight. And then more showers start to creep in by about 2, 3 in the morning on Sunday. But by about 6 a.m., you can see temperatures starting to drop down around freezing. So we're getting down to about 33, 34 degrees. Surface temperatures are close enough to freezing. We're going to start to see some of these areas kind of mixing with a little bit of snow and a little bit of rain. That's going to continue again, mostly along I-44 and south of I-44. I-44, then going to continue to push off to the east as all the rain clears out by about 1 p.m. on Sunday, and then we're finally out of that big rain threat that we've seen for the last several days. Now, along I-44 and just north, about ½ inch to another inch of rainfall over the next 24 to 36 hours. South of I-44, 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain, but north, really not seeing much more, less than ½ an inch of rainfall over the next couple of days. Now, like I said, temperatures remain pretty cold. On Saturday, mid to upper 40s for the high, mostly just rain in the morning. Flood potential, especially in areas south of I-44. And then on Sunday, temperatures really only getting up to mid to upper 40s again. And we have that bit of snow in the morning, but it's not going to be a big threat. Nothing's going to stick on Sunday because temperatures are still going to be relatively warm. Now, overnight lows getting down below freezing, about 30, 31 degrees. But Monday, back into the low 60s, and then we're creeping back into the 70s by Wednesday. We've got another chance for showers Wednesday night, very light, but it does drop temperatures on Thursday. And then by next weekend, back into the mid 70s and even into the 80s. And you can see most of the week a long stretch of sunny skies. So we've packed in severe weather, flooding, and a little bit of winter weather all into 5-day span. And then next week, we're going to have a nice long break of warmer temperatures and sunny skies.
I'll tell you, I know who's been enjoying this rainy weather.
Who?
The frogs.
Oh.
They're loving it.
Yes.
Ribbit, ribbit. Thanks, Lindsay. The Tarzan Zerbini Circus is back and kicking its season off right here in the 4 states. Those who attend can enjoy all the circus trademarks, including popcorn, cotton candy, and a ton of entertainment. The circus brings out Patty the Elephant, Trapeze, and the Wheel of Dome and Death.
Hands down, it is the oldest form of family entertainment. We're older than baseball. I mean, it's been around for over 250 years, and it's a great time for families to come together, put the phone down, and just enjoy live entertainment. I mean, you're literally feet away from the entertainment and the entertainers risking their lives for you.
Shows will continue tomorrow and Sunday. You can get your tickets online or at the door. Still ahead, Miami High School hires a new softball head coach, and the St. Louis Cardinals play their first road game of the year. Ben McLeish has those stories and more up next.
Miami High School softball has gone to the 4A state tournament 2 of the last 3 years. The Lady War Dogs have had a ton of success recently. And Miami School District announced last night that Kelsey Henry is the new head softball coach for the Lady War Dogs. She was a 4-year starter for the Miami softball team as a student before graduating in 2014. That was just the beginning of Henry's softball journey. She then played at Southwest Baptist until 2018, before returning to Miami as an assistant coach. Most recently, Henry has been the head softball coach at Afton for 3 years and Berry Hill for 2 more. Pretty much all of our high school and college baseball and softball games in our area get postponed today due to weather. But in Major League Baseball, the Cardinals play on. The Redbirds are in Boston for their first road game of the season. Cardinals take on Boston. It's the Red Sox 2025 home opener. Bottom of the first inning, Trevor Story crushes this pitch over the Green Monster and gone for a 3-run homer. His second of the year, Boston leads 4-0. Next pitch, Willie Abreu hits one high and deep the other way, and that one gets out as well. Red Sox go back-to-back and lead 5-0. Ivan Herrera knows a thing or two about home runs. He had 3 on Wednesday, and in the 4th inning, he responds for St. Louis. That's a 3-run shot. It brings them within 2. But the Red Sox just keep scoring. In the 7th, Rafael Devers hits one back up the middle. A run scores. They lead 11-6 at this point, and the Cardinals score 3 runs in the 9th, but it's not enough. They lose to the Red Sox 13-9. Well, we're less than 24 hours away from March Madness's Final Four, and despite the lack of upsets and Cinderellas, it's been a historic year. For the first time since 2008, it's only 1 seeds, only the second time that's happened in NCAA history. Auburn and Houston look for their first championships in program history, but no matter who wins, a head coach will be cutting down the nets for the first time. Florida's Todd Golden, Auburn's Bruce Pearl, Houston's Kelvin Sampson, and Duke's John Shire fight for their first title, although Shire did win one with Duke as a player. So despite this tournament being one of the most predictable in recent memory, don't sleep on this Final Four. It's going to be a special one.
We know who your money is on, Florida, but I mean, who's really the heavy hitter in this Final Four?
Yeah, I think any of these teams can win it, but I think everyone's looking at Duke as the title favorites right now. They've looked unstoppable throughout this tournament, only trailing like 5 minutes so far in the entire tournament, so they're certainly going to be a team to look out for.
No matter what, your bracket's probably messed up. So that's a look at sports. We're back with more after this.
In 2000.
A new mural honoring the Route 66 Centennial is unveiled in Joplin's Route 66 Mural Park. The piece, created by artist Andy Thomas, features 25 landmarks from the Route 66 Tri-State Corridor. Mayors and tribal leaders from Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma joined Joplin Mayor Keenan Cortez for the ceremony celebrating the city's long history with the historic byway. Well, it's potentially starting to feel a little bit more like winter again here soon.
Well, just for the weekend, we've got temperature dropping down to the mid-40s for the weekend. Heavy rain through Saturday morning, lightening up towards the evening, but a little bit more rain in the morning on Sunday, plus a little bit of snow mix. Nothing that's going to stick, but it is going to feel pretty cold. We had a wide range of weather this week. Yeah. I'm ready for the sunshine.
No snowmen in the future, though.
No.
Thank goodness. But potential new NCAA champion in the future, that's for sure, right?
Yeah, I've got 2 words for you guys. Florida, Auburn, Duke, Houston, must-see TV.
That works, yeah, I think. All right. Well, that's our time for now. Thanks for joining us. All 3 of us will be right back here tomorrow. Have a great night.